الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ولا نكفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا ولا نصيرا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد فالحمد لله رب العالمين. We are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has made us reach the month of Ramadan, the month of Siyam, and the month of Ibadat, and the month of Qubul, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us, inshallah. I want to reflect a little bit today on the life of the Muslim in general and the life of the Muslim during the month of Ramadan. And especially that it's not too late. We have tonight, inshallah, we'll be looking for the last, we're going to be entering the last 10 nights in Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do the best. Looking for Laylatul Qadr. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the hadith, there's many hadith he told us about Laylatul Qadr, the greatest night ever. خير من ألف شهر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it better than 1,000 months, 82 or 83 years of ibadah in one night. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the other hadith, he says, قد خاب, anybody who is disappointed, has been let down, who did not get forgiven, his sins forgiven in that night, if he missed it. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us, inshallah, from the ones who don't miss this night, inshallah. But ultimately, let's reflect a little bit on the fiqh, on the knowledge that we gain from the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the month of Ramadan one time in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he's talking about the Siyam and the three ayat, when he says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you believers, it has been ordained or been written upon you for you to make Siyam, like it was made obligatory upon the people before you. You're not an exception. Siyam is something that belongs to all mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it obligatory to all mankind, for everybody to make Siyam. And we're no different. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the title. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That's it. لَعَلَّكُمْ, لَعَلَّ in Arabic usually حرف ترجي. Maybe, hopefully, inshallah you will, inshallah we will gain that. What? Gain the tuqah. That's the purpose of it. And somehow, when you think about the Siyam, to achieve the level of tuqah, and muttaqeen is the highest level of the Quran. You notice, you see how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the greatness and the bounties and the rewards of the muttaqeen. متقين إن المتقين في جنات وعيون إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم إن المتقين متقين. They do this. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, multiple hadiths, nobody's going to enter the Jannah unless you have tuqah. Tuqah is the key for you to enter Jannah. The fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have a barrier between you and the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tuqah, to have that, to achieve it, you go through Ramadan, you make fasting. Fasting will get you to that level. And you gotta look at it in two different perspectives. When we are in this life, living in our lives, it doesn't matter, male, female, young, old, whatever. The best example I could give you is like this. It's like a highway. We're just kind of traveling through this highway. And our life is exactly like that. We have an entrance on this highway and we have an exit from it. And the life, subhanAllah, the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps going until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings up the day of judgment. When you enter the highway, you have to comply with the rules. And believe it or not, as an example we use today to make it as close as we can of the Siyam, is the cops or the CHP on the highway. In order for you to really comply with the rules, which is, all of us know the rules. How many of us will break the rules? Almost all of us. Especially we break the rules if we know nobody's watching. We know as a fact, if I inform you today, you're going to go on this highway, you're going to go on this freeway, whatever that is, and nobody's going to be watching you, all the CHP is on vacation and everybody's staying home, guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to speed, everybody's going to switch lanes, everybody's going to go reckless driving, we'll do different things. Very few will actually comply with the rules. But when you're on this highway, what are you doing exactly? Think about it. Are you watching yourself when you are doing the right thing for you to comply with the rules and not to do something wrong? Or are you watching for the cop behind you, or on your right, or on your side, on your left, or in front of you, or behind you, before he takes you and catches you? Which one are you really watching? And this is what we say, muraqabah. This is the watching act, what we do in our lives. What are you watching? Are you truly watching yourself to do the right thing, or watching others for you not to get caught doing the wrong thing? Are we doing the right thing in our lives? Are we making salah because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to do it? Are we making zakah? Are we paying zakah because it's the right thing, it's good for us? Are we good with each other because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward us for it? Or are we doing it just because we are fearing the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We are fearing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could do to us in the day of judgment, or possibly, most likely, here also on the face of this earth, some kind of punishment. Which one? Tuqah is both. You do both. You're watching yourself to do the right thing, and watching for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to punish you, not to put you under duress, not to put you under torment or punishment because of the actions that you do. And this is the essence of the tuqah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarified it for us. To achieve this level, a tool in our hands is siyam, to fast. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided us with all the tools we need throughout the siyam for us to achieve that level. One of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as for instance, and by the way, when you think about the, maqasid al-sharia, it's like, what is the purpose of things? And this is a big deal in our deen. Like, especially with our youth today, they always come up and always ask us, like, why is pork haram? And why is alcohol haram? Why is it lamb is halal and pork is haram? And yet they both have hoofs, they both have noses, they both have ears, they both are very similar. Why is this? Why is that? Why is this? Why is that? Why is riba haram? Why is it? We go to maqasid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in some occasions, He has foretold us exactly why. For instance, the gambling, and drinking will cause a lot of, decimation of the communities, will cause hatred amongst communities. But a lot of things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never informed us. You cannot even tell today why is pork haram? Why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbidden? Even though today, from our point of view, I can give you probably 1,000 reasons, and all of them are logical, all of them make sense of how dirty, how bad, how not good for us, and on, whatever it is. But did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us exactly what it is? He never did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us ibadat, specific ibadat, the same things that we talk about wudu. Why is it that when we go to go to the restroom and then come out, you need to refresh your wudu? And why is it that you only wash to the elbow? Why wouldn't it be to the shoulder? Why wouldn't it be to the ankles? Why wouldn't it be to the knees? But what is the sequence of it? What is the secret of the sequence that you start with your hands, you say Bismillah, and this and this? How about if you switch it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not inform us with so many different things in our deen. The why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us obligatory on us to do it like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the tools to achieve these things. One of the greatest tools, like I mentioned earlier, is to achieve the tuqah, which is the key to enter the Jannah, to escape the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is siyam, with the dalil of this ayah. One of the things that siyam will do for us is will keep us away from, at least for a few hours of the day, some hours of the day, away from thinking about food, about desires, sexual or hunger, and on, and keep us away from it, to make us really understand and realize who we are. If you think about it, who are we? What is the human body today? It's made out of molecules between carbon, magnesium, iron, and on and on and on. What are we? Truthfully, what is our bodies made out of? You think about it, it's made out of materials. And our need for materials, our need for food, our need for nourishment, this is what kind of sustains us. Now, if this body that's made out of nutrients, made out of these molecules, if you keep it away for a few hours, away from thinking about food, Although it needs it, wants it, keep it away from it for a few hours. What do you think is going to happen to you? Keep it in touch with other than what is made out of. Keep us in touch with our spirituality, with who we truly are as spirits, as ruh, as arwah, with the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine today just an idea that we are floating arwah, souls, with no bodies? We have no need for food. We have no need for, to multiply. We don't need homes for us to dwell in. Kind of like the angels. You think what our lives, what would have been? Would have been completely different. In the month of Ramadan, we get as close as we can to that point. Although that is impossible, and I agree with you, it's impossible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create us that way. But we get as close as we can. Look at the other idea. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us. He says, the shaitan, which is the one that dissuades us, gets us off the path. He usually feel jasad, he runs in the body, in the human body, كمجرى الدم, like the path of the blood. And of course, we know if you're hungry, your blood vessels constrict, become smaller, and allow less of a chance for the shaitan, or less of a path, or less of an avenue for the shaitan to go through your body. You're actually achieving a better level of spirituality, staying away from shaitan. Another one too. I could tell you another one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. When you go out there and give the needy money, you give the hungry money, do you really empathize with that needy? Do you really know what's it like to be hungry? Do we understand what's it like not to have food in our hands, or not even having the next meal lined up? You notice how today we actually eat without being hungry? You notice that how our lunch hour is set up like 12 to 1 or 1 to 2. And we eat at that time, even though 99% of the times we're not even hungry. Do we really understand what hunger is? Do we really know what's it like to be thirsty? Do we really know what's it like to be needy of materialistic things? In the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that feeling, to let us know who we are truly all about. In the month of Ramadan, we learn the patience and the sabr. We know how it's like to have sabr, the most important element in our deen. Some of the scholars said, a sabr is quarter of the deen. Quarter. Where do you get this from? Surah Al-Asr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal Asr, Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the Asr, and He says, the insan, the mankind, is in the state of khusr, in the state of loss, in the state of no success. Let's put it this way. Except, illa alladhina, four different ones. Ladina amanu wa amilu salihat. The ones who believe and they do the deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, made da'wah to others with the haqq. That's the other 25%. And the last one is وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. The last quarter is sabr. As a matter of fact, some scholars said the whole deen, the whole Islam constitute of two different parts. Shukran wa sabr. To have shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You notice that our deen is nothing but gratitude. When we make salat to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we do things. Why? It's all about gratitude. We are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He has given us, what He has granted us, what the harm He kept away from us, from all the good things He provided us with, and all the great things He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, promised us with. We make gratitude, to have gratitude. But it has to be associated with sabr, patience. These two elements constitute the entirety of the deen of Islam. And the confusing part is, this is where the angels, they go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is part of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They go to Him, they go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Allah, we have the salah, we have the, the zakah, we have this. But the siyam, we don't know how to write it. Where does this go? We don't understand. How is it somebody in the ideas of the angels is that you prohibit yourself, you stop yourself, you make siyam, you are stopping yourself from eating and drinking and commencing your own desires? Where would we write this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith He says, Innahu li وأنا أجازي به. I'm the one who, it's for me, and I am the one who gets the reward for that. I'm the one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives the reward the day of judgment for the Siyam. Brothers, if you only know what is the ni'mah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us in the month of Ramadan. The Sahaba, 6 months before Ramadan, used to make dua, Allah make us to reach the month of Ramadan. And after the month of Ramadan, they make dua for the next 6 months to say, Allah, accept from us what we did, all the ibadah, the dua, all the supplication, everything that we've done in the month of Ramadan. This is the sale. This is the month of giving. This is the month of greatness. And it's not too late, like I said. Although that 20 days almost, or 19 days went by, we only have 10 days left, or 10 nights left. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how many days we have left. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given us another bounty, another ni'mah. Laylatul Qadr. If we seek it, if we look for it, we get the highest reward in one night. One night. Can you imagine? One night is better than the work you do in this one night, better than what you do in entire life of mankind. More than 82 or 83 years of ibadah in one night. Can we deprive ourselves from a little bit of sleep and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Can we do that? Can we just devote ourselves that night, for the next 10 nights, just to look for that night? Can we devote ourselves to make dua for earthly things and for the life after? Can we make our best for us to make the best dua for ourselves, for our families, for our ummah, for the whole mankind, for them to gain hidayah and guidance to be Muslims? How difficult is that for us? Only 10 nights left. If we can catch up, we are going to get the highest reward. And if we miss out, we're going to be missing out on so much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us never from the ones who are missing out on any reward from Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah make us from the ones who will get paid fully the highest reward from Laylatul Qadr and all the month of Ramadan inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the ones who are truly successful here on the face of this earth. And inshallah in Jannah al-Firdaus in the life after. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ولا نكفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا ولا نصيرا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. You think one dua will make a difference? One subhanallah will make a difference? One bismillah, one la ilaha illallah will make a difference? One night will make a difference? It makes a big difference. Look at the hadith of Talha ibn Ubaydillah that we always get to be reminded of this hadith every Ramadan or even before Ramadan or after Ramadan. Talha ibn Ubaydillah, one of the Mubashirin of the Jannah, the highest, the 10 top are rewarded with the Jannah here on the face of this earth. They were informed they will enter the Jannah. He had a dream one time about two Muslim brothers, two Muslim Sahabi. They both entered Islam at the same time. One of them was mujtahid. He was working hard. He entered Islam and he took it wholeheartedly. He was making dua, he was making salah, he was making qiyam, and he went to jihad and he died as shaheed. The other one was muqtasid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us, like the majority of us. We do the minimum. The minimum required. We do the 5 salah, we do a little bit of zakat, we just kind of get by. We show up in the masjid every once in a while. This person was muqtasid, doing the minimum. One of them was doing the maximum. Actually, he gained shahada, he was shaheed. And the other one was doing the least. The shaheed died, and the one that, muqtasid, the one who did less, he survived it by 1 year. Talha ibn Ubaydillah saw him in the dream. He was standing there in front of the door of Jannah. And somebody knocks on the door, opens up the door, and he summons the one the one who did less but survived 1 year longer. The one who did less, the muqtasid. He said, you get to enter the Jannah. So he opens up the door, he gets in. And then the door closes up, and they both are waiting. Many people are waiting. And then the door opens up again. And then he calls upon the shaheed. He tells him, your turn to come in. And then the door closes up again. And then the angel comes back the third time. He says, to Talha, the Ubaydullah, he says, it's not your turn, go back. It's not your turn for you to enter Jannah. So he wakes up. So he's surprised. He's telling the Sahaba, he's saying, SubhanAllah, I saw the strangest dream last night. The shaheed entered after the one who did less, but that one survived for 1 year longer. He said, SubhanAllah, how could that be? We think in our mind, the shaheed, that was SubhanAllah, the highest ranking, shuhada, salihin, the highest ranking after the Prophet. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, what are you talking about? He said, Rasulullah, I saw this dream, this. He says, what are you surprised? He says, didn't that person who did less, muqtasid, didn't he survive for a whole year extra? He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He said, didn't he witness one more Ramadan? He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He said, didn't he witness one Laylatul Qadr? He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. I said, that's it. That's it. All it took just one work, one night, one Ramadan, for the average person like all of us to catch up to be ahead of the shaheed. Ahead of the shaheed, to enter the Jannah before the shaheed. Is that an amazing concept? Look at the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives this greatest doors, greatest avenues for people to do good. Sometimes, some people are really far ahead, people who do a lot, people devote themselves, their work, their energy, and on. That door is open. And even for the people who do minimal, the door is still open. But we need to catch up. We need to take advantage of these doors. We need to take advantage of these opportunities. And if we don't, the only people who will be missing out is for ourselves, for our own sake. Nobody else is going to gain from our, work. Nobody else is going to gain from our ibadat. Nobody else is going to gain from our, a'mal. It's all recorded in our behalf. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody is telling us nobody's going to carry the sins of others, and nobody's going to carry the advantages or the good for others, except of course the three: صدقة جارية أو علم ينتفع به أو ولد صالح يدعو له. Except that these three, this is something that will keep going, inshallah, and you'll gain from somebody else. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the ones, inshallah, who are fully rewarded in our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us, inshallah, the ones who are fully rewarded in this month of Ramadan, inshallah, and in Laylatul Qadr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the full ajr, the full thawab, inshallah, in the Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, make us all, inshallah, to be safe here on the face of this earth and gain the highest reward and live comfortable and prosperous lives, and also to enter the Jannah and have the highest reward, Jannah al-Na'im, in the life after, inshallah. And we'll be in the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and all the Sahaba and also the Deen of all the Shuhada and all the good doers, inshallah, in the Jannah. أقول قولي هذا وأنا داعي فقول آمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وارحمنا واهدنا واجعلنا يا ربنا من عبادك الصالحين. اللهم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم ربنا انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم ربنا انصر الإسلام وأعز المسلمين. اللهم ربنا اشفنا واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين أجمعين شفاء تاما لا يغادر سقما. اللهم ربنا ارحمنا وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين أجمعين، وادخلنا يا ربنا وإياهم جنات الفردوس وأرضين مرضيين. اللهم ربنا إنا نعوذ بك من الأمراض والأوباء والأسقام والفيروسات اللهم يا ربنا ارحمنا، اللهم ربنا كن معنا، اللهم ربنا تقبل منا يا عزيز يا كريم، اللهم ربنا تقبل منا قيامنا في رمضان، وتقبل منا صيامنا في رمضان، وتقبل منا أعمالنا يا عزيز يا كريم في هذا رمضان. اللهم ربنا بلغنا ليلة القدر يا عظيم يا كريم، واجعلنا يا ربنا فيها من المأجورين، واجعلنا يا ربنا من أهل جنات النعيم. سبحانك اللهم لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك، سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد سيد الخلق أجمعين. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة إقامة الصلاة إقامة الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. استقيموا واستووا واستغفروا الله إن الله سميع قريب. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, reward you, reward your family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make it blessed and accepted from Ramadan, inshallah. Keep the message in your dua, keep our ummah, inshallah, in our dua. I don't know if you're following the news or not, you see what's going on in Bayt al-Maqdis. Our brothers, for the first week of Ramadan, they had huge rallies, and they were able, alhamdulillah, to have the doors open back up with minimal damage. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given our ummah a lot of strength. Keep our brothers in dua, keep our whole ummah in our dua, inshallah, in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, give you the highest reward here on the face of this earth in the life after, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.